He was handsome, intelligent, and charismatic. From the outside, Theodore Robert Bundy seemed like the perfect guy. But behind that charming facade was a monster responsible for some of the most horrifying crimes in American history. Today, we're going to trace the timeline of Ted Bundy, from his seemingly normal childhood to his ultimate downfall. Bundy was born on November 24, 1946, in Burlington, Vermont. His early life was marked by confusion and secrecy. He grew up believing his mother was his sister and his grandparents were his parents, lie designed to hide the fact that he was born out of wedlock. This deception, some psychologists argue, may have planted the seeds of resentment and a fractured identity that would later fuel his rage. As a young man, Bundy was seen as bright and ambitious. He attended the University of Washington, where he studied psychology. He even worked on the gubernatorial campaign of a Washington Republican, earning praise for his dedication and intelligence. He had a long-term relationship, and to everyone who knew him, he was just an ordinary, promising young man. But beneath the surface, a dark transformation was taking place. The first confirmed attack occurred in 1974. The victims were often young, attractive college women with long, dark hair parted in the middle. His method was chillingly consistent. He'd often feign an injury, wearing an arm sling or using crutches, to lure his victims into a vulnerable position by asking for help. Once they let their guard down, he would strike. Between 1974 and 1975, a wave of terror swept across Washington, Oregon, Utah, and Colorado. Young women began disappearing at an alarming rate. The pattern was there, but the police in different states struggled to connect the dots. The perpetrator was a phantom, leaving little evidence behind. Bundy, meanwhile, was accepted into law school in Utah, moving his hunting ground with him. The first break in the case came in August 1975. A Utah highway patrolman pulled Bundy over for suspicious driving. In his car, the officer found a ski mask, a crowbar, rope, and handcuffs. This was enough to raise alarm bells. A few months later, one of his would-be victims, Carol DeRanche, identified him in a police lineup. She had heroically escaped from his car after he tried to handcuff her. For this kidnapping attempt, Bundy was convicted in 1976 and sentenced to 1 to 15 years in a Utah state prison. But the story was far from over. While imprisoned in Utah, he was charged with a murder in Colorado. In 1977, he was transferred to Aspen, Colorado, to stand trial, acting as his own attorney. Bundy was granted permission to use the courthouse library. During a recess, he seized his chance. He jumped from a second-story window and vanished into the mountains. This first escape lasted for 6 days before he was recaptured, looking tired and hungry. After his recapture, Bundy was moved to a jail in Glenwood Springs, Colorado. He immediately began planning his next escape, and this one would be far more audacious. Over several months, he managed to lose over 30 pounds, allowing him to squeeze through a small opening he'd cut in the ceiling of his cell. On December 30th, 1977, he climbed into the crawl space above, made his way to an unmanned jailer's apartment, changed into street clothes, and simply walked out the front door. He wasn't discovered missing for over 15 hours. A free man, once again, Bundy made his way to Florida. This is where he would commit his most infamous and brutal crimes. On January 15th, 1978, he broke into the Chi Omega sorority house at Florida State University in Tallahassee. In a frenzied attack lasting less than 15 minutes, he viciously assaulted 4 women, killing 2 of them. Later that same night, he attacked another student in her nearby apartment. The sheer savagery of these attacks shocked even seasoned investigators. Bundy's crime spree wasn't over. A few weeks later, he kidnapped and murdered his youngest victim, 12-year-old Kimberly Leach. By now, he was one of the most wanted fugitives in the country, with his face plastered everywhere. His final capture was almost anticlimactic. On February 15, 1978, a Pensacola police officer spotted him in a stolen Volkswagen Beetle. After a brief struggle, the reign of terror was finally over. The evidence against him for the Florida crimes was overwhelming. Most damning was the bite mark evidence found on one of the Chiomega victims, which forensic experts matched directly to Bundy's uniquely crooked teeth. The trial that followed was a media circus, one of the first to be nationally televised. Bundy, with his law school background, once again attempted to represent himself. He was arrogant, charismatic, and seemed to relish the attention. He cross-examined witnesses and police officers, turning the courtroom into a bizarre theater. He even proposed to his former girlfriend, Karali Ambun, while she was on the witness stand, and they married right there in the courtroom. Despite his theatrical performance, the jury wasn't swayed. He was found guilty of the Chiomega murders and sentenced to death. A separate trial for the murder of Kimberly Leach also resulted in a guilty verdict and another death sentence. Bundy spent the next decade on death row, filing appeal after appeal. In the days leading up to his execution, he began to confess, detailing dozens of murders across multiple states in a last-ditch effort to postpone his fate. The true number of his victims is still unknown, but he's suspected of at least 30 murders, though some investigators believe the total could be much higher. On January 24, 1989, at Florida State Prison, Theodore Robert Bundy was executed in the electric chair. His death was met with crowds cheering outside the prison, a testament to the fear and pain he had inflicted. The story of Ted Bundy serves as a chilling reminder that evil can wear a handsome and intelligent mask. It changed the way law enforcement investigated serial crimes, highlighting the need for interstate communication and profiling. Bundy's ability to charm and manipulate, even from behind bars, forces us to confront the uncomfortable truth that monsters can look just like you and me. Thanks for watching this deep dive into one of history's most notorious criminals. If you found this timeline informative, please hit the like button and subscribe for more content. Stay safe out there.